What's going on, YouTube? So I hope you enjoyed the two videos about building a trimmer rack. So far it's held up great, and it's a fun little project to do. And we're getting ready to mow this week. We didn't last week. We decided to hold off, and the weather was a little iffy. So this week we're gonna really be putting it to use, and hopefully last for several seasons at least, right? Anyway, I want to do a quick video and talk to you about something I think is very important. It's when you go to do quotes, okay? Very important. And I'll tell you a story too that happened to me. So when you go to do quotes, if you're going to quote like a lawn to mow or something like that, quick and easy, trimming like 3 bushes or something, you could probably show up to the customer's house, look at it, and especially if you've been doing it a while, you can just spit out a price right then and there. But now, if you're doing like, you're remodeling a flower bed, you're redoing it, you're going to be doing a patio or a walkway, something a little bit more extensive, the customer is going to be right there, especially if you meet them. They're going to be right there, and they're going to be like, so how much are we talking? And do not spit out a number right then and there when it's something a little bit more extensive than just looking at like 3 bushes or the lawn to cut, right? Don't just spit out a price. The reason you don't want to spit out a price is because sometimes you'll just, in the heat of the moment, you'll get a number in your head just by looking at it, and it won't be the right number. You'll be underbidding yourself, or it'll be way over what this guy's even remotely thinking he's going to pay, right? Just because you're excited, you get these feelings, in you, and you're just like, oh man, this, you're just pumped, you're ready to go, and in your head, this number just clicks, and you haven't even thought of the materials, what it's going to cost, how many hours. It's just some number that popped in your head, and then the customer will spit out that question. So how much we talking? What's this going to cost me? And then in that moment, full of excitement or whatever, or nervousness, you spit out that price, and then you've just either screwed yourself. Usually you screw yourself when that happens. What you want to do in that moment, when they ask you that on a little bit more extensive project, say, what we do is we take all the information, the measurements or whatever, we go back to the office, home base, whatever you want to call it, and we figure it up, and we'll send you a quote same day or next day to you via, we can call you, text, email, something of that nature, whatever works for them, right? But you need to take a step back from the scene. Like when you leave the scene, when you leave the customer's house, from looking at it and giving him a quote or whatever, you take a step back, all right? And on the drive home, you think about it. You start thinking about it, and that number that you had in your head in that moment, you might have looked at some bushes and thought $150, and really it may have only been like, $60. But so you take a step back and you start thinking, you start adding all these things up, the measurements, thinking of the materials, and just think on it before you give the customer a price. Because I'm going to tell you a story. What happened to me is actually our very first job as a legit company. And it was actually like a town or two away, so we had a bit of a drive. It's probably a 30-minute drive to this place. It was our first job. We show up and we look at it. The lady has probably 100-foot long flower bed, and I'm guessing it might be 75 to 100 feet. It's about 3 foot wide, 2.5, 3 feet wide, and it's got like, we're talking like river rock like this. Great, like maybe 3 inches or so full in that flower bed. But when we got there and looked at it, there was weeds all in it and grass growing up, so it really didn't look like that much rock. And the task that she wanted us to do was remove the weeds and, take up the rock and put fabric down. And I'm thinking in my head, walking by, looking at it, that it's not going to take that long. It's not going to be that bad of a job. Just a few, maybe like 2 days. Shouldn't be that bad. Didn't look like that much rock, right? And so in that moment, I'm excited. My business partner, he's excited, And so me and Brandon were like, okay, let's go. He's looking at me. I'm getting ready to shoot out a price, and I just spit out. I think I told her $600, right? Right on the money. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, I may have overshot that. And she just said, $600. I said, yes. Does that work for you? And she said, absolutely. When can you start? And right then and there, that was a red flag to me. I was like, I just screwed myself. I just screwed us. And we get there. A few days later, we start working on the job and realize that that was a very extensive job. Those rocks were super heavy, and there was probably 5 tons of rock. Of those rock or more, it's probably a lot more than that. But it was massive. When we started taking that rock out, we had piles and piles on huge tarps. And it didn't look like a lot with the weeds growing through it. But once we got rid of the weeds and actually seen the rock, and we just started out, we didn't have no equipment, we didn't rent no equipment. I mean, we ended up losing money on that job. We probably lost $100, $200 on the job, right? It was terrible. Worst first job experience starting out as a landscaping company. And I don't want you all to go through that. So I hope that helps you in some way get a little idea. Implement that into your own business, whether it's lawn care, landscaping, or whatever it is you do. Just remember that when you go to give a quote. But guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. If you've got stories similar to mine, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate it. And thanks for watching, guys. You all are awesome. I think we're at like 206 or 7 subscribers at the time of this video. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Y'all are awesome. Seriously, I appreciate it. Thank you. And until next time, peace.